yeah, I thought I knew you. Oh, I thought I knew you well.
So well.
Thanks.
God damn!
How's it going?
You know, going pretty good. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Now that you're here.
Now that I'm here.
Now that we're recording.
Let me take these shoes off. Get comfortable.
Them puppies out here.
Yeah.
Air them toe socks
Air them
out.
toots out. Yeah. Sorry if it smells like feet in here.
It don't. It don't.
Yeah.
I'll breathe through my mouth.
Thank you. Please don't ever tell me.
Never. Unless it was obvious, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you gotta
This is a
run.
bad one,
We gotta
you know?
run.
You gotta get out of here. You're gonna have to cut those puppies off.
What's your goddamn?
Well, you remember how all of my appliances died last
Oh,
week?
I recall.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, don't look at anything. Ha ha ha. Good fucking joke.
What happened?
Good fucking
What'd you look
joke.
at? The toaster. It was the toaster.
It's the garbage disposal.
Oh, fuck.
Motherfucker's done.
No.
Don't know why. Just won't turn on. I was like, okay.
You just like get that little hand crank out. I don't know. I always saw my dad under there with like an Allen wrench, and I'm like, what does that do?
What are you doing? I don't know. That's a man job. That's,
okay.
That's a...
Fuck it. So
Yeah.
we just don't put food down the sink, huh?
Yep. Did last night, though. Because I forgot
Oopsie.
already. So
Oops.
there's some macaroni in there right now. But you know what?
That'll smell great.
Later.
At least it's not like chicken bits.
But my dad's coming over tonight.
Sick.
Yeah.
He's gonna fix it.
He
He
gonna
knows
come
the
for
deal.
dinner, and I'm gonna be like, hey, guess what just happened? And he's hopefully gonna fix it for me.
He's gonna bust out that Allen wrench.
He doesn't know this yet.
I can't wait for him to find out.
Yeah, he's probably pretty excited about it too.
Fuck. At least it wasn't the toaster.
Yeah. But the dishwasher is back up and going. I think
Hell
I
yeah.
think I told you that. Yeah, so we can do dishes again. I'm just trying not to lean against it or do anything.
Don't
you know?
talk about it
Don't
anymore. Let's
look
change
at
the
it.
subject.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to die on you. My God.
But, so that's where I'm at in my life.
I do know. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
You want to hear my goddamn?
Hell yeah, I do.
It's that I went to Vegas and it was a lot of fun and it was amazing. And my son loved the little Michael show, the little Cirque du Soleil, Michael Jackson, whatever. I almost cried in it. Because I was like, why is it called Michael Jackson 1? Like, I don't
Yeah.
get why it's called 1. It's like, we are one. Like, we are the world.
Unity.
Love
Yeah.
each other. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
No hate crimes, that kind of shit. Anyway,
hate
so
crimes,
I really enjoyed it. You know what my goddamn should be, though? Because I'm still fucked up about it.
What?
Maybe because I was Googling it right before you got here.
Yeah.
But fucking Perez Hilton went on live last night on TikTok and fucking stabbed the shit out of himself.
That was wild.
What the fuck? Did you see any of it? Or just what I sent you?
I didn't search for it, so I only saw the little screen grab that you had sent me because I was like...
Of him covered in blood?
Yeah.
My God, that's so sad.
I'd seen a couple TikToks where they were like explaining what happened, but everyone was like, don't fucking look at it. You don't want to, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then you came in clutch with the picture.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry I couldn't make that invisible to warn you. But
Yeah.
here you go.
Jump scare. Oh, horrifying though.
He's covered in blood.
Oh my God.
Somebody,
so sad.
So.
Also, he has kids? Like, homie.
Fuck, man.
What are you doing?
I saw it pop up on my TikTok. I was like, that's not real because my... Long story short, this also should be my goddamn... My TikTok is removed. My account got removed. Your girl has said far too many things about Epstein or whatever.
Mr. Stein
And
himself.
I didn't get a warning. I didn't get shit. I went to go log on and my account, it just said your account has been removed. And it's in appeal, but I don't even know how it works. Like, I can't even look up... Like, I can't log in at all. It's just like, you're fucked. You can't get into your account. I can get into the podcast account, but then I can't see what's happening on my account through the podcast account.
Yeah.
So then I'm on the podcast FYP page, right? Which you have slowly curated, but is still a little crazy. And it's a very true crime heavy, which we know we love, but also very bad for my mental health.
Yeah. Well, oh my God, right now it's just the Idaho 4 and the Clancy trial.
That's what I've got too going. And now Perez Hilton. And it was like Perez Hilton stabbed himself and tried to commit suicide on a live. And I was like, that's not fucking real because I didn't trust it, right? Like, I don't know. It's like user...
I don't know this for you, page.
Yeah. It's like some user 816 or something. And I'm like, yeah, that's fake. And then I fucking clicked on the comments and it was like, that wasn't... I don't know. It said something that was demonic. Like, it wasn't scary. It was demonic. And I was like, what the fuck was he doing? Like, what do you say when you stab yourself on a live? Like, what's going on? And so, of course, then your girl Googled because it was bedtime. And I'm like, I don't want to see the video either. Like, that will terrify me. But let me get a screen grab. And then I saw him covered in blood. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, that's insane, right? And then all the things were like, I'm a parasite and this is what you wanted. Like, he was really going after it. And I'm like, that actually breaks my heart. And then... Guys, forgive me if I'm an idiot, but I am a millennial. So I was like, wait, why do we hate Perez so much? Like, I get he drew like dicks on Britney Spears' face and he would like, questionable paparazzi and all that shit. But like, also that's what we do on this podcast. Like, not to be a dick, it is kind of our humor. Not that it's okay. It hurts people's feelings, whatever. But like, you have to be a certain kind of person to consume that content. And so if that's the only reason he's controversial, that's fucking wild that like our society brought him to the point of wanting to fucking kill himself. But also, is there more that I don't know about?
I mean, there's got to be some like mental health struggles somewhere in there.
Who doesn't have that?
Exactly. But then, potentially mixed with medications or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying that he's on any medications. I'm just saying
You're just speculating.
Yeah, people react differently to all kinds of things. But I think, as far as I know, is that you're right. He was only controversial because he was kind of catty. Like he was
right, and so I'm
dick.
Like, but then there's so much hate, like,
in a funny way. I don't. But like, But I can understand how people don't like that.
Like, we all have the mean gay bestie, and that was Perez Hilton, and we thought it was funny, and we all consumed his content just like E-Bombs World, is what I thought, or like Rotten.com and everything.
But also, I don't know what he's done in the last 10 years, because I didn't know he still was around.
Me either. So then when I was Googling it, of course, this is all like Gemini giving me the answer, right? Or whatever, like the top hit on Google.
Yeah.
And it was like, he's really hated because he was so mean and catty and everything. And I'm like, oh, but is that just like the media twisting it, or is that really how we all feel? Which is why I'm asking on this podcast, how do we feel? Like, did he do something else? Because
I don't know.
I don't mean to be a dick or anything, but like, if it's just that he was spilling the tea, that's why we all watched.
Right.
So why do we hate him?
We were all consuming it.
Anyway, so that should have been my goddamn. Sorry for that random ass tangent, but that fucking shit was living in my head.
You know what should have been my goddamn, not to get off topic, is fucking school starts tomorrow. No idea who their teachers are. Don't have anything.
How?
I got a fucking lunchbox yesterday. I'm like, right, we're ready.
Oh my God. How?
Show up prepared.
We start in like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, tomorrow, bitch.
That's wild.
I'm coming home from this. I have to clean my house. My dad's coming to dinner. I have to get the kids all fucking ready. And then, boom, school in the morning.
Oh, you're stressed right now.
I am stressed.
I'm sorry. I have an 11-pager for you. This is the worst day of your life.
Well, let's add more anxiety and stuff to it. What kind of murder story do you have for me today?
Oh, I'm so happy you asked. Here on episode 395, I'm going to tell you about Ronald Rudin.
Ooh, Ronald Reagan.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Nope.
He's Rudin.
Rudin. So Ronald, or Ron Rudin, was born November 14th, 1930 in Chicago, Illinois, and grew up as an only child to his parents, Roy and Stella.
Okay. What was the dad's name? Roy?
Roy!
Oh, okay. I thought you said Broy for some reason.
No, I just have speech impediment.
Sorry. No, I shouldn't have pointed it out. I think it's my ears.
Nah, I think I just have a speech impediment.
It's not you, it's me.
My mouth just does roundy shit sometimes.
Sometimes I get lazy tongue.
Yeah. So Ron, he grew up in considerable wealth at the time because his father, Roy, had earned a high salary working as an executive for a local chemical company.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
What kind of chemicals we working
Girl,
with?
I don't know. Shoot, but I will speculate later.
Fucking radium or some shit? We paint watches? What are we doing?
Right, I know. They glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, his mom devoted her time as a stay-at-home mom and raised Ron. Now, Ron and his mother, they had a very close relationship, which they maintained throughout his early adulthood.
Okay.
However, in 1950, when Ron was about 20 years old, tragedy struck the family when his father, Roy, suffered from a sudden and fatal heart attack when he was only 47 years old.
Ooh, hate that.
That's quite young.
That is quite young.
So is it radium? Like, what's going on? Questions. Immediately suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much more about this or his upbringing or anything, but Ron was described as being a very charming man, and he knew how to use it. Now, as an adult, Ron put his charm to work building a real estate empire in Las Vegas.
Ooh,
during the 1980s and 90s real estate boom there.
Okay.
So being a wealthy businessman with charm, it put him in elite social circles of Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
But he wasn't into like the big glitz and glam of the casinos. He was more of like your fancy little country club man, businessman. And he had this signature look of these slick black cowboy boots that he always wore, and he always carried a gun. So I'm thinking like, kind of like rough and tough cowboy businessman, like a no shit, like an oil baron is what I'm thinking. And that's kind of what he looks like to me.
Like, are they skinny jeans?
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's cowboy boots under there.
Yeah, exactly. And those are starched jeans is what I'm seeing.
Shit's crisp.
He's not like Elvis impersonator.
Yeah.
Just to give you a visual.
Gotcha.
But it was so well known fact that like Ron carried a gun around and everything all the time because he like would brag about, I don't know, bragged about, but it was known that he had like a stacked personal armory. Like the man had lots of guns.
Okay, yeah.
So you can imagine the type.
I don't think you're allowed to bring a gun into a casino anymore.
Probably not. Probably not. I don't know what the Vegas rules are for concealed carry. I can't imagine they're loosey-goosey like they are with prostitution. I don't know. Anyway, so along with Ron's miniguns, he also had many wives.
Wives? Like whole-ass wives?
Like he married several times. Not all at the same time.
Okay. I was like, concurrently?
No, consecutively.
Okay.
Let me say this in words you'll understand.
Yes.
He served consecutive sentences.
Gotcha.
Of marriages.
Yes. Till death do they part. But he was like, I'm on parole out of this one.
Yeah. Well, so I'm not going to go much into each of his wives.
Yes.
But he had 5 of them. And his third wife, Peggy June Lee Rudin, was allegedly the love of his life.
The third?
The third.
Third time's a charm.
The third time is a charm. Love of his life.
Okay.
But sadly, Peggy suffered from depression.
Oh.
And she was found shot in the head in their bedroom in 1978.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now,
girl, when I Googled this, I was like, I had no idea. I had to dig to find out that this man had dead wives. I'm like, what? Who fucking knew?
She was found shot.
Shot in the head.
I'm assuming we concluded suicide on this?
Right. So the police investigated Ron as like a possible suspect, but in the end, her death was ruled as suicide. They were like, that's suspicious. And they looked into it and they're like, nah, she really did kill herself.
It's actually not that suspicious and he has a lot of guns. All right.
Weird. So Ron went on to marry his 4th wife, who I know nothing about, but shortly after divorcing her, Ron met a woman by the name of Margaret Frost.
Okay.
Now, a bit about Margaret. She was born in Memphis, Tennessee, and was one of 3 siblings. Her family moved frequently, and by the time that she was in high school, she had already lived in 15 states. Goddamn, who's on the run? I got some questions. Why are we moving so much? Well, now her dad, I guess, was a barber, and so like they'd have to move often for jobs. But I'm like, why can't we hold steady clients? Like, hair grows. I have questions.
Like, those are repeat customers.
But I do not have answers. I don't know why. I don't know what their background was. You can't really dig much into it. Because for sure, I'm like, the mob. Like, there's something going on here.
Right.
Anyway, so the family moved a lot. And by the time she was in high school, several states. I don't know much about her childhood or her upbringing past that, but I do know that as she reached adulthood, she married 4 times prior to meeting Ronald.
Man, she was on number 5 too?
Girl, they're not fucking around out there.
Wow.
Now, Ron met Margaret at the First Church of Religious Science in Las Vegas, and by September of 1987, the couple were married.
Okay.
Now, despite its name, the First Church of Religious Science has no affiliation with Scientology because I was like, the fuck is that? I've never heard of. I don't know. I'm not aware. But it turns out it's part of the, quote, New Thought movement founded by Ernest Holmes. Don't know who he is. But it teaches that God is present in everything and that positive, faith-filled thinking can help transform a person's life. So it's all like, just to be positive, man.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta
manifest
show you the way. Yeah,
right.
Which I can get behind, sure.
Yeah.
Nothing nefarious there.
Sure.
So, as I've mentioned, Ron was very wealthy and he owned a realty company that was located in a strip mall, which he also owned. He was a rich real estate baron with his slick black boots.
Yes.
In the strip mall, Margaret, she ran an antique shop as her business, and Ron rented the shop space to her.
That's how they met?
No, they met at church, evidently.
But that's right. You just said that. I'm sorry. I will pay attention.
No, it's okay. It happens to me all the time, even when it's my story. No. He owned the strip mall, and she was like, I'd love to open an antique shop. And he was like, I'll rent you a space. And this became like a point of contention, according to Margaret's sister later. She's like, she always complained about him being like stingy with money and shit. And like, he literally was like, yeah,
charging
if you earn your
rent.
keep. Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
And that's his wife? Like, while she was his wife?
Right.
God damn.
Right.
Well, you don't get rich by giving out your money.
That's true. But Margaret was still excited for her new hobby / career, running this antique shop, okay?
Yeah.
So the couple lived in a home that was located directly behind the strip mall. And this is also the same home where Peggy committed suicide in. Like the master bedroom of the home where they make sweet, sweet love every night is the same room that Peggy blew her brains out in.
Jesus
Respectfully.
Christ.
What?
Respectfully.
What? What?
That's wild.
I would have a problem. I would be like, like, can we re-wallpaper? Like, what are
Let's get new memories.
Yeah. Let's fill this home with, let's make this into an office if you want to hang out in here. But I'd like to not dream next to the ghost.
Yeah. That's wild.
Now, according to Margaret's sister, Donna Cantrell, Donna claims that Margaret often complained about Ron, mostly about how stingy he was with money, right? And that Margaret would often mention that she hoped that Ron would die from his poor health.
God damn.
Oh,
Okay, Maggie.
okay. Goddamn, girl. What's going on? Now, what was poor about his health? I'm not sure. I don't really know. He seemed to be a very fit man, but maybe he had diabetes. I'm not quite sure.
His dad died at 47 from a heart attack.
Heart attack, right.
Maybe she's like
stress.
counting down the time,
She's like, I hope it's genetic.
Oh my God. That's a wild thing to say to your sister.
Yeah, and your sister's just like, anyway, she said this. Like, goddamn. Margaret would later go on to claim that one night while the couple were watching some crime show, that Ron quietly asked Margaret what she would think if he told her that he murdered Peggy, the ex-wife that died in the master bedroom.
I would think, I need to fucking get out of here.
Come
do you
again?
mean?
And then
What
I
would you
left
think?
because I
Yeah.
said come. Like, what? No, get out of here.
What would I think? I would think, I hope he's joking. What do you mean?
Well, I found Margaret's response to be kind of suspicious too, because she responded with, I don't want to know because then I would have to leave. And so she told him that she wasn't going to listen to him so that he could relieve his guilt and get it off of his chest, so to stop talking about it. And so the couples just never talked about it again.
What the fuck?
That's a red flag. I'm like, first of all, Margaret is a down bitch, all right? Like, she rolls deep.
Yeah. She was like, I can't testify
she's
against you if I don't know.
in. Yeah. Yeah. Damn, how intelligent of you. How street savvy.
But also, you're
Girl,
sleeping
run.
in that fucking bed.
Yeah,
Like,
what are we
you-
talking about?
If you assumed that he did that to someone else, then
Mm-hmm.
don't you have to assume that he could do that to you?
Right, right. So this kind of puts in my mind that, like, Margaret's like a wise old cat. She's been around the block or two, like, and that's why I'm like 15 states by the time you're in high school. Like, what kind of background does she come from?
Yeah, and she's like, stop talking. I don't want to know.
I don't
want to
be deposed.
To die. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want your money. So go away.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so I don't even know if that story is true, right? That's coming from Margaret. That's what Margaret says happened.
Oh.
So if you want to believe it,
Okay.
that's an interesting take.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't know who dies in this yet.
Well, you're going to find out, okay?
I am.
So, Ron, on the other hand, he had complaints of his own about Margaret. Rumors of infidelity began to bubble up, which Margaret denied every time. Then one night, Margaret caught Ron talking to one of his ex-girlfriends, like on the phone or something, and she confronted Ron. So Ron was sneaking and geeking also.
Uh-oh.
And Margaret says that he slapped her on the face. Don't know why, just because she confronted him. So he slaps her on the face. And in defense, she says she grabbed one of his guns. And she said that Ron wrestled the gun out of her hand. And by the look on his face, she was terrified that he was going to kill her because he was like,
In a rage.
I mean, you grabbed a gun on the man, his own gun. Not that any of this is okay.
Right,
But
right,
whatever. Anyway, so he grabs the gun. He ends up firing it and a bullet goes through an oil painting on the wall, but not at her. He like fires it off at the wall as if to be like, get the bullet out of the chamber and fuck you. I don't know. I'm speculating here.
He's just angry.
Yeah. He's like, Yosemite Sam, just pew-pewing in the air.
Into an oil painting.
I know. Very specific, I thought.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Good thing it wasn't acrylic.
You know what? That's why I'm always like, I don't know what's true. Because,
Right.
like, it is, like, the story that we're getting. No police were called. There wasn't, like, Exhibit A right through the oil painting.
Yeah, there's just an oil painting in their house with a bullet hole in it.
Right. But there is a history of violence in this home, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, according to Ron's attorneys, Ron claimed that Margaret was becoming increasingly vicious and violent, and in 1991, he secretly updated his trust to ensure that if he died by violent means, that there should be extraordinary steps taken to investigate his cause of death. it was also updated to include that if any trustee of his estate had caused his death, that they wouldn't receive assets, right?
Okay.
I mean, that makes sense.
This all seems pretty above board.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he seemed...
If I die in a homicide-looking thing, can you...
Check it out.
Go above and beyond and figure out who did that?
Right.
Because I put that in my will, too.
I know, right? Should we all just do that?
Yeah,
It's like a pre-active...
If it's anyone
Proactive.
who I liked, take them out of my will. You know?
Yeah, I'd be so mad.
Yeah.
They shouldn't get any of my shit. Those CDs are mine.
Yeah.
In the afterlife.
Obviously, dude. Got it.
Yeah. What the fuck? But then this tells me he was paranoid and worried.
He was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, he's into some shit that people might kill him for, is what I'm thinking. So that was, they updated his trust, right?
Yeah.
However, things started to look good for the couple again because a few years later, in 1993, Ron increased Margaret's share in the trust from 40% to 60%.
Wow. He gave her the majority share?
Yeah, like when he
That's
dies.
crazy. Oh, when he
Right.
dies.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, he doesn't get it. They don't get it till you die.
Gotcha.
So around the same time, according to Margaret, Ron's paranoia started to peak. Evidently, he was working on some big land deal where he was going to turn the land into an RV resort called The Retreat at Lee Canyon. And there were some shady dealings when it came to the financing of the purchase of the land.
Okay.
Now, this land is in the middle of the desert. Like, I think it's like around the border of California and Nevada or something like that. But he was going to turn it into some RV resort.
Sure.
Margaret claims that Ron was known to do deals with the mob out in Vegas and that he could...
Who else are you going to do deals with in Vegas?
Honestly, they're all out.
Yeah.
That's why Vegas is here.
It's not on purpose. It's just that's who it is.
Exactly. That's why they're there.
Yeah.
So Margaret is saying that he could have been brokering a deal on their behalf, even. Like, I have the land. You're going to help finance it. I'm going to get the broker fee or whatever for you purchasing the land. I don't really know exactly, whatever. But she's suspecting that he's with the mob.
Okay.
Around this time, Ron became very weary of people, and he made it a point to carry a gun on him at all times. Like, he was already known to do that, but he was
Wait,
like...
weary or wary?
Wary.
Oh, okay. I was like, he's so weary.
I can't go on. I just don't feel
I'm
good.
pretty weary of people,
Is this
too.
my mouth thing again?
I don't know. I think it's my ears, man.
No, it might be my mouth. Anyway, so he was already known to carry a gun, but around this time specifically, he was like, he don't leave the house without a gun.
Okay,
He was
yeah.
very paranoid.
Yeah. He's like, I got my smile. I got my gun.
I got my charm. I have everything I need here.
Never fully dressed without my gun.
Or my slick black boots. It was also around this time that Margaret was caught eavesdropping on Ron's real estate office phone, which was a phone line that they shared between the home and the office.
Man, the 90s were a wild time.
Do you remember when like you
Yes.
could hear your parents on the other line? Like, you only had one phone.
We
in your
only had
house.
one phone line, yeah. For internet and everything. You could fucking pop somebody off their
We
website.
only had one phone line. I mean, like one phone number, but like we had several phones in the house. So like my
we
parents.
had two phones.
So your parents could pick up the line and like listen
Yeah.
to you on the other end.
Yeah, one was in their room. Yeah.
See, my parents had one in their room, and then we had like the common room, the like kitchen one or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember I could always hear my dad breathing on the phone because I got spied on all the time. But I was not talking about anything important. But
You're like, Dad, hold it like this.
like I can hear, you can hear when they pick it up.
Right.
If you're paying attention. It's not hard.
Yeah. Get off the line.
That's exactly what was happening. Ron's employees started to complain that they suspected that Margaret was listening in on the line, and so Ron had the line removed from the home.
Okay. He's like, bitch, you're not going to be spying on us.
I know, right? I think she was also listening in to see if there was any proof that Ron was still cheating on her or
Yeah.
like talking to that ex-girlfriend or whatever. I'm not sure if it's the same incident, a separate incident or whatever, but just know that she was listening on lines, okay?
Yeah. Listen, she could have just been bored.
Yeah, she's
know?
like, what are you guys talking about? What kind of deals are you brokering? Or is she a Fed? I have questions.
could be.
And she's like, he's brokering deals with the mob, but I can't blow my cover. Anyway, so shortly after he like killed the phone line, Margaret and her sister Donna bugged Ron's real estate office with recording devices, and they in fact did discover that Ron was having an affair with a former employee of his.
Oh my God. Ew. Gross.
Bum, bum, bum. I know. During the same time period, Margaret started to befriend and grow very close to a man named Yehuda Sharon. Not Yoda.
Yehuda.
Yehuda.
Okay.
Now, a bit about Yehuda. It turns out he was a former Israeli intelligence officer who immigrated to the United States. The fuck, guys? The fuck. The fuck?
So it's been happening this whole time?
The fuck? I just wanted a simple, like, what's going on here? Simple murder.
Oh, no.
In Las Vegas, perhaps in the desert, because I'm thinking, man, I wonder how many bodies are out here as we're driving through it.
Right.
And I end up with an Israeli intelligence officer in my goddamn story. Anyway, he made his living by selling chrism.
What the fuck is that?
Which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, is a holy anointing oil that is made with olive oil and the resin from balsam tree sap.
Is it like Christ's jism?
That's
Chrism?
all I could think of as well. I'm like, why? Why the name chrism? But okay. But I guess that this, like, olive oil and tree sap is blessed by a bishop, and then you, like, use it in baptisms and shit. I don't know what it's supposed to do. I didn't dig that far. But allegedly, Yehuda would, like, make this oil and then sell it to churches, and that's how he made his living.
Okay.
Around the nation.
Mm-hmm.
The way that Yehuda and Margaret allegedly met was that when she opened her antique shop, she hired him to assist her with bookkeeping, handling her taxes, and moving merchandise, which I find interesting from a snake oil man.
Yeah. Like, did he apply for the job? Was she looking for someone? Or was he like, I could do that shit?
I don't know.
Did he find her? I have questions.
Did I Google a lot? Yeah. Do you have any of that information? No. I have no fucking idea. But it's weird, okay?
So she was assigned a handler. Got it.
Precisely, who sells snake oil. So now Yehuda, which is like, why does she have a handler?
But
is it because she's the wife of this real estate man who works with the mob? Perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, just to get close in with the family or something. But, like, he already has a job, Like
Yehuda? Yeah.
Yeah, why would you hire this person?
Because he's her handler.
That's fucking weird.
It's fucking weird, guys. So Yehuda was known around the local country club scene as the younger, charismatic man who charmed wealthy middle-aged women, and Ron fully suspected that Margaret and Yehuda were having an affair.
Okay.
So let's jump to December 18th, 1994.
Okay.
One of the tenants of Ron's strip mall says that she saw Ron walking from his real estate office to his wife's antique shop, which had just held, like, one of its grand openings or some shit like that. I'm not sure what time this was at, but if I had to guess, I'm guessing, like, closing time for a real estate office, like 5, 6 o'clock or something.
Sure.
Because this came out of an actual, like, case file, like lawsuit, fucking court filing, this information, but they didn't give timestamps or anything. So I don't know about that one. But around 8:10 p.m., I do know that a friend of Margaret's says that she called the house looking for Margaret, and Ron answered the phone saying that she wasn't home yet.
Okay.
Sometime between 8:30 and 9:30 p.m., Margaret says that she called from her cell phone to the house, and that she ended up talking to Ron on the phone, and that after the phone call, she ended up working late at her antique shop until about 1:10 a.m.
God damn. Girl, it's an antique shop.
What are we doing?
And it's the 90s. It's not like you had to crunch numbers. Just fucking write it down. Someone bought a chair, $100.
Feels like a cover. Feels like a cover.
Or like
Feels
an affair.
Feels like a cover. Right. A cover for an affair.
Yeah.
A cover for snake oil. A cover for guns. I don't fucking cover for drugs. I don't know.
What could you be doing at the antique shop until 1 a.m.?
Really filing your books. I don't know.
Dusting.
So, spoiler alert, her phone records, Margaret's phone records, do not show a call between her and Ron at this time.
Oh, okay.
So we can go ahead and assume that's a lie.
Yeah.
But, like, nobody out there says she lied. I'm telling you that's a lie. Because there's no evidence
telling
of
you
it.
it's not on the record.
Yeah, but nobody is like, she's a liar. But I'm telling you she's a liar.
Yeah.
Because I'm also like Perez Hilton.
That was a lie.
And I can use my common sense and still use my words for wit. Okay.
Don't kill yourself.
No, I won't. No way. And if I end up suicided, I'm going to put it in my trust. You better fucking go after these motherfuckers. I want you to be a Candace Owens.
I will. Oh, I will.
Okay.
This podcast is going to get weird.
Yeah, it already is. Thanks
know.
to yours truly. So we know that phone call was a lie, right?
Yeah.
Now, a friend of Margaret's, she claims that she was with Margaret helping her at the antique store from 9:15 p.m. till about 12:45 a.m. So they were working, allegedly, but that's also your friend. So, like, that'd be like you being like, yeah, for sure, we were fucking around.
Yeah, I don't know. How late did she say we were there?
Yeah,
totally.
Exactly.
Just around then.
But also, maybe an antique shop takes a lot to close up, It was
a lot of dusting to do.
Wild opening day.
You got to put all the teeth away.
Yeah, made so many sales. I've never seen an antique shop busy. It's just blowing my mind.
Right.
Now, at 2:20 a.m., Margaret stopped by the office of another tenant in the strip mall. What the fuck are we all doing awake? It is Vegas. We never sleep. I get that. But, like, it's just a strip mall.
Yeah. Yeah, and that someone else is also there. That's kind of weird.
It was like a wife and husband couple, and they were working late, and they claimed that Margaret stopped by and made small talk for about 30 minutes before she left for the night. Now, it sounded to me like the wife didn't know Margaret, but maybe the husband was kind of familiar just because they're in the same strip mall. But the wife was like, this is my first time meeting her, and she came and stopped for 30 minutes at 2:30 at night. Like, that's crazy.
We're all
Or in
trying
the
to
morning.
fucking leave.
Right.
No.
Right. I want to get this fucking done. So, Margaret then claims that she went home and noticed that Ron's car and Ron himself were missing, but she figured that he was mad at her for working late and that he had gone out to the bar or something by himself, so she wasn't too worried.
But it's already past closing time. Oh, wait, it's Vegas.
Vegas, they never
mind.
close, right? She also says that she wasn't alarmed. There's two reasons why she wasn't alarmed that he was missing initially, because she knew that Ron was planning on selling that major piece of property, right? The Lee Canyon property. And that was going to be sold on Wednesday. And now it's Monday, early morning Monday when she comes home. And she says that she wasn't that worried because she figured, if nothing else, he might be at that property looking at it one last time. At 2:30 in the morning?
I mean, if she's working that late, it stands to reason that potentially he was working that late.
Also, it's December. It's not even like it's so hot you can't go in the daytime, though.
But it is the desert.
Yeah. But it's cold at night then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find that weird. But the following morning, which was Monday, right? Like I said, December 19th, 1994, Ron failed to show up for work at his real estate office, even though he was the one who would unlock the door every morning. So this was like a huge red flag.
Uh-oh. And his car was gone too, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
His employees called his home all day, but never heard back from Ron, and they were growing more and more concerned.
Yeah.
So Margaret claims that she called the police station to report Ron missing, but she was told to call back when it had been 48 hours.
48?
Yeah, so 2 days.
God damn.
Which we all know is bullshit, but
On account of the show, 48. They're like, this is the amount of time you have to find somebody.
you better do it in the first 48.
Yeah.
Now, this is the 94s, though. So, like, there was a time when that was the rule, right? Like, you're allowed to be missing for a while. And now we're all like, wow, that's really bad advice back there.
Yeah.
You should not be giving your kid soda in a bottle. Like,
Hey,
I don't know.
turns out
Yeah.
they're way easier to find if you just look for them at first.
Right, exactly. So, by December 20th, only one day after Ron disappeared, his coworkers went to the local police station to file a missing persons report. Because they're like, what the fuck? This is bad. And the police officer called Margaret back, allegedly back, you know, and let her know that these employees were opening a case and that the officer was going to accept it unless Margaret herself wanted to open the missing person's case.
That's
Because it's
weird.
her husband.
Yeah, but like, who cares? Who opens it? Just open it. Like, is it only give
Again-
answers to them then?
Again, I feel like, okay, first of all, if Margaret's telling the truth and she did call in and they were like, you can't do anything about it, you have to wait 48 hours, and then another group of people come in and then they're like, we should probably look into this. And then they give her a courtesy call, like, hey, do you want to be the one to open it? Or it's someone there and they're like, girl, you better be the one to open this or that's going to look weird.
Right,
You know? So it could be either of those. I don't really know. So Margaret files the police report herself.
Oh, that's good.
And the police immediately start questioning friends and coworkers. I will state, though, she files this report herself, but it's still only within the 24-hour period of him missing. Like, it hasn't been 48 hours. So that kind of doesn't hold up unless that scenario that I painted is true, where it's like
more people are worried and they're like,
yeah.
ooh, actually, okay, maybe for
right,
this case.
Right. Which could be. I don't know. Okay, so they start questioning coworkers and friends, and immediately they are like, you should look at Margaret, because they believe that she had something to do with his disappearance.
They are kind of violent when they fight.
Yeah. Now, unbeknownst to the police at the time, but later discovered in their investigations, they found out that on December 21st, so the second day after Ron disappeared, Margaret hired a cleaner by the name of Augustine Lovato to clean some brownish red stains on Margaret's carpet right in front of her washer and dryer. Now, according to Augustine, the stains had already been cleaned or attempted to be cleaned,
Well,
but
yeah.
appeared to be blood to him.
Organic matter.
Bum, bum, bum.
He had to clean it with hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, your stain will turn orange. Okay, so by December 22nd, the police paid Margaret a visit based only on the fact that coworkers and friends were like, you need to look into her.
Yeah.
And the police don't know that the house has been cleaned by a cleaner, right? So they pay her a visit and they're like, hey, can we search the property to look for clues to see where the fuck this man might have gone? And she was like, come on in, the water's fine. And
House
so
is already camera ready. Let's go.
Exactly. So she allows them in and they search and they find nothing of interest, which is shocking if in fact there was nefarious things going down in that house, because I'll tell you more things later of what they later find. But but they walked in and they're like, everything's fine here.
Everything is above board.
Nothing to worry about.
Okay. Can't wait to hear what they are later.
So the police eventually interviewed Margaret's sister, Donna, and she stated that on the same day that Ron went missing, she stopped by Margaret's house to visit, and she observed Margaret reviewing Ron's will and trust documents, which she had said that she had just grabbed from the office that morning. That he went missing.
This is
the morning that he went missing.
Yeah.
She got into the office
and
got his will and trust and just longingly looking at it.
So if he's still missing at the end of this, I'll get.
Yeah, what the fuck? And this is at a time when she still thinks that he's probably at the property. Like, she hasn't called the police or anything. She's just hanging out, reviewing the will of trust. Will and trust, hoping so bad that something will happen to this man. So as police continue to look at Margaret as the most likely suspect, they discover that Margaret may or may not have been having an affair with Yehuda, right? Mm-hmm. So now we have a bit of a motive where there's this broken marriage with a wealthy man who, if she divorces, she stands to lose his fortune, and she's got a lover on the side.
Yeah.
So maybe she killed him. Right. Maybe she killed him, wants the money, and gets rid of him and can ride off into the sunset with Yehuda, her Israeli intelligence spy. So they look into Yehuda and what he was doing around the time of Ron's disappearance. And they discover that the same day that Ron went missing, Yehuda rented a large passenger van from a rental agency in Las Vegas. According to Yehuda, he rented the van to pick up a shipment of holy oils from a business in Santa Fe Springs, California. He had asked the rental agency to have the back passenger seat removed from the van to allow for room for all the boxes.
Okay.
The van was returned December 23rd, 1994, with 348 miles logged on it, which is a few hundred miles short of a round trip to Santa Fe Springs and back.
A few hundred miles?
Yeah, like he didn't make it to Santa Fe Springs.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And so
math's not mathin'.
That's weird. And so the police were like, what happened here? Like, what's with the mileage discrepancy? And Yehuda stated that he had intended to drive all the way to Santa Fe on December 22nd to pick up the oils, but that he had overheard a trucker comment that it was raining there, so he turned around.
When he was almost there, he's like halfway there. Oh, yeah. It's raining?
Right.
Well, my car can't drive in the rain.
Yeah, this passenger van?
Yeah.
Okay, so
what do you mean? That's not a fucking problem.
It's not a fucking problem at all. I did a Google search, and it did rain on that day. It was lightly drizzling, and it was foggy, but not enough to, like, cancel your road trip.
Get an umbrella.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? Pull into the fucking warehouse to have them loaded.
What are you talking? Like, your boxes might get a little damp. Like, what?
But it's a passenger van. They'll be inside.
I know. I know. It's a dumb excuse.
Yeah.
So the police obviously, like, it piqued their interest.
Yeah.
Because if harm had come to Ron, that would be the perfect way to transport a body to the middle of the fucking desert. There's a lot of desert between Las Vegas and Santa Fe Springs.
There's so much.
Yeah. That is where all the bodies are.
Yeah.
Right?
How many bodies are there? His.
Yeah, exactly. So then suddenly on December 23rd, police discover Ron's missing Cadillac.
Ooh.
Which was parked in an alley behind the Crazy Horse 2 saloon in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So the car was locked, and 2 sets of keys were found inside of the locked car, which the police were able to retrieve.
Okay.
Ron's car was always kept in pristine condition. It was like his pride and joy. But when it was discovered, it was covered in mud, and the floorboards of the car were covered in dirt, which would happen if you're trekking through the desert in a light drizzle, okay?
Yep.
And that shit will stick to everything. And the dirt on the floorboard had been tracked in on all 4 floorboards. So people had been in and out of that car. Several people. Or at least one person was all over it and in the dirt. Okay?
Okay.
Police were able to lift some partial fingerprints from inside the car. But interestingly, none of the prints belonged to Margaret or Ron. Or, I guess, anyone else important in the case, because they never find a match for the prints. Second spoiler alert.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so not to go on too much of a tangent here, but the Crazy Horse 2 Saloon is a gentleman's club, in case you didn't know, and it was/is ran by the Chicago outfit, which is the Chicago mob.
Oh.
And remember, he's from Chicago, okay?
Mm-hmm. And okay, now listen, hear me out. If the mob did all of this and yada, 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 why would they park his vehicle right outside their establishment?
Right.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
That would be, like, obvious.
Yeah.
Unless it was, like, parked there for the pickup, but they Or if it was like another mob trying to frame him or something. Or
guess, right?
maybe there's like this understanding that whatever's there, you don't fuck with it with like the local police, and somebody was new on the job and was like, oh, what's this fucking car? And the mob are like, God damn it.
Oh, fucking
Supposed to ignore that lot.
Yeah. I guess. But I feel like they'd still park it a bit away. Right, don't look over there.
Right. Feels like a setup or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least suspicious.
Right. It's weird. So, like I said, if you'll recall, Ron is from Chicago. And in fact, his father worked as some important exec at a chemical company in Chicago, right? So this is my tangent, okay?
Okay, let's hear it.
Stacey doing research and being like, because I have the same questions. Like, what could it be, right?
Yeah.
So I'm speculating wildly on a couple of ideas here. So in the 50s, around the time that his father suddenly died of a heart attack, execs at manufacturing companies or steel and chemical plants, they would often have to work, like specifically in Chicago or in Illinois in general, they often would have to work with the Chicago outfit mob in order to get their shipments. Ooh. Because at the time, the outfit had infiltrated the trucking industry. And basically, if companies didn't pay the mob an extortion fees, or use their trucking companies specifically, the mob would sabotage deliveries or organize strikes to cripple the company's profits, right?
Yeah.
So this meant that oftentimes these execs would have to work directly with the mob in order to secure their raw materials. Mm-hmm. Now, wouldn't you know it that in my investigation, I discovered that Ron's father worked in what sounds to be a procurement role, which would manage supply chain logistics and major corporate buying contracts. Mm-hmm. So, again, I'm speculating, but he could have had to have dealt with the mob on a regular basis.
Okay, yeah.
And when you hear the mob, you think some shady dealings, but like when you're working in procurement and shit, you're literally just calling people and being like, hey, this is what I need to do. Or, I don't know, in 94, you're probably emailing also. Right, like to secure contracts and shit. So you could just have your guy.
Yeah.
And they could have a shell company. And it's the mob.
Yeah.
And you know it's the mob. And you know you got to hit certain... Like a lot of times in procurement and shit, you have contracts that you have to uphold. So you'll make these contracts a year in advance on how much you're going to buy from them. And if you don't, if you fall under, you have to find other ways to meet the needs, right? Mm-hmm. And it goes both ways where they also have to provide a certain amount of supply to you. And if they don't, then there's issues or upcharges or whatever. It's a contract, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just speculating here that Roy, Ron's father, could have some sort of ties to the Chicago mob.
There's a potential that he had spoken to them at least.
Yeah.
For sure.
And even if it wasn't just work related, even if it was like in a friendship and they knew them, I don't know what their family life was like. I just know they were wealthy. Yeah. So that's why I'm like...
Which is suspicious.
Right. I'm like, sure, you could be a wealthy chemical exec, right? Like that happens all the time. But then the mob ties later on in Ron's life make me go, I have questions. Like how, because I couldn't trace back how Ron got rich on real estate other than just the Nevada boom. But how'd you know to come to Nevada? Like how'd you know to come to Las Vegas? You were living in Chicago. Like I have questions. Or you were living in Illinois. He moves around in Illinois. Okay, so I'm just speculating again. But also, to support my theory a little more, when you look up chemical companies in Joliet, Illinois, which is where they were living at the time that his dad passed away, the biggest company there is called Blocksun Chemical Company. And interestingly enough, this company was mostly known for making laundry soaps and such. But it turns out, it was discovered that part of the byproduct of their process to make laundry soaps of like the phosphates or whatever was that they made a little bit of uranium too. How exciting. Ooh. Oh, you were kind of onto something here. So during the Cold War, the U.S. government contracted Blocksun Company to secretly extract uranium from phosphate rock to make atomic energy.
Yeah.
And they took over a landmark that's now called Building 55 of the plant, and they used it for a decade or so to extract tons of uranium for the Atomic Energy Commission.
Okay.
So years later, it was discovered and uncovered that the workers who were working there were unknowingly being exposed to dangerous levels of radioactive dust and waste.
It was knowing. I mean, they might not have known.
Girl.
But like their bosses knew.
That is what I am speculating here. You're onto it, okay? Yeah. So like... Again, I'm spitballing here, but Roy died right when the U.S. government stepped in and took over secretly mining and extracting the uranium. And so if Ron's dad had put up a stink about anything like, hey, this is going to hurt our workers, or if by having the U.S. government come in, they had to use different suppliers, and Roy's like, I'm going to get fucking got if we don't go with these Chicago outfitters.
I already promised these guys the contract.
And if you're putting up a stink either which way, the U.S. government or the fucking mob, you could be taken out. You could be a target for a reason.
Between a rock and a hard place, as they say.
To be taken care of. Yeah. And like, I know that people are going to be like, that's wild, that's out there, but that happens. Like, and not that I worked in a shady corporate world where I was seeing that, but like, we know nepotism is a thing. Like, it could so easily happen. And so I'm just saying, weird, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that was all of my like rabbit hole investigating and everything. But if you don't want to take that whole background and you just want to take like the lowest hanging fruit of this whole story and not all of my like crazy investigative work, it's really not that odd that like a rich real estate businessman might know a mob member or two, right?
Right, yeah.
Like what you were saying.
In
Who
Vegas,
else are we going to be doing business with?
Yeah, that's who's buying.
So again, I'm not saying I have the answer, and I know even some of the things I'm saying are contradicting themselves. I'm just saying, like, what do you guys, that's weird. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the car that they find in Crazy Horse 2, right?
Yeah.
They find the prints and some dirt, but they have no further clues as to where Ron is. And then on December 25th, 1994, Margaret hired a locksmith to unlock Ron's real estate office.
On Christmas Day?
On Christmas fucking day. But also, remember how she had his, like, will and trust from the real estate office and was, like, reading it longingly?
Yeah.
I don't know why suddenly she doesn't have access to it and now needs a locksmith. Maybe because it's Christmas Day and none of the workers are opening it. And I don't know why she doesn't have keys. But we know she hired a locksmith to unlock it. Okay?
That's suspicious. I guess it's not that suspicious.
It's just weird day to do it.
Weird day to do it. I feel like you're going to get an upcharge.
Yeah, right? So Margaret and her sister Donna, they spend hours going through documents in his office.
On Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day.
As a family.
As a family.
They were like, let's open this safe as our present.
Exactly.
That's exactly find what we're about to get from Santa himself.
Right. Longingly stare at our will and trust.
Wow.
So they go through documents collecting information on finances. They find some documents related to Ron's former wife, Peggy, who suicided herself, right? Like some documents on the suicide. And they come across some information that a family member of Peggy had made a death threat against Ron. So to me, it sounds like they're trying to collect evidence that it wasn't Margaret, right? Like,
oh, okay.
Let me get all this stuff. There's finances. Obviously, the police are looking at Margaret.
Yeah.
And Margaret is like, he does deals with the mobs. Like, it's probably his business. And so I'm guessing she's looking through his finances, trying to find out who he's working with. Also, the fact that there's this ex-wife that she claims he admitted to killing. And
loosely.
Loosely. And that there is evidence that a former family member has put a death threat against Ron. So she's like collecting evidence like, look, you should look at these people.
He's kind of a shady character. Yeah. Anything could have happened to him.
That's what I'm speculating. They like, it's not like any article tells you that's what they were doing.
Right, yeah.
But that's what they find. So I'm like, that helps her case.
Yeah.
You know?
But also, weird thing to keep.
Right. She also gathered a handwritten note by Ron, which listed out all of his assets, which I find convenient, as well as a certificate from a firearm safety course that Margaret had completed a year prior, along with another handwritten note that said, quote, "It's you or him, get him first." Don't know. That could mean anything. That could be.
It could have just been his favorite saying. He's like, that's what old Pops used to say.
That's what mobs say. Yeah. So by January 12th, 1995, less than a month after Ron had gone missing, Margaret hired Augustine Lovato again to help her turn the master bedroom of her home into an office.
Oh, he's just a regular handyman,
He can do everything.
He said, I clean, I cook, I build.
Whatever you need. So he was instructed to dismantle the bed as well as cut out a 9 by 12 foot area of the carpet directly under the bed.
What?
What? According to Augustine.
Not the whole carpet in the bedroom.
Just a 9 by 12.
I can afford that.
Well, goddamn, that is a big room. I mean, that's like the size of the shed.
Yeah, but like, that's what I mean. Why would you just cut out that section of your carpet? Like, do the whole fucking, what do you got, 2 more feet?
It's fucking weird. I don't know. That's why I'm like, goddamn, what size is that room to only cut that part out?
I have a very big room.
I don't either. I'm like, that's my whole room.
Yeah. Weird to
we
stop
live
at the
California,
edges.
Though. Just rip it up.
Isn't it easier to put a whole new one down? I don't understand.
I don't either. He's like, I don't want to move all this. Just replace the middle. Anyway, so she's like, cut out the carpets. According to Augustine, as he cut the carpet, he uncovered a lot of dark reddish-brown stains that had an odor that reminded him of the smell of his dogs after they had been chewing on rabbits. What? Sir.
Questions. Number 1, what the fuck?
Question 2, come again?
Excuse me?
Chewing on rabbits? How often does that happen?
How often
just, like,
does that
dead
happen? Does he just throw them rabbits? Like, is
well,
that
you know
their
how
job?
you can like get rabbit ears and stuff for treats for dogs?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
maybe it's that.
But like, those don't smell like
Yeah.
dead meat, you know?
No.
Those smell weird.
Right.
But not like they've been dried and
Very
cured,
distinctive description, you know?
That's
Like
very strange. I
Right.
was like, wet dog after a bath. Dog
after chewing on rabbits.
Chewing on rabbits. Okay, sure. Okay.
So Augustine was working on the carpets, ripping them up, and Margaret comes in with great news from her lawyers. She's in a good mood.
Uh-huh.
And I'm guessing that it's like she got the life insurance payout or something.
And he's like, well, good thing, because you have to replace your subfloor.
Yeah, because there's fucking blood here. And so she told Augustine to go ahead and rip out all the carpet because the whole room was going to be redone.
Oh, okay. Now we're there. Got it.
She didn't have the money before, okay?
Yeah.
So as he's ripping out the carpet...
She could only afford one section.
Yeah. So as he's ripping out the carpet, he noticed that like on the walls and on the items around the room, there is strange spatter spots on objects, like this like glamour shot of a photo that was hanging on the wall. Like the frame of it, there was brownish, darkish, reddish stuff. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say blood, but
Yeah.
the articles don't say blood. It's just like there's some spatter on the walls.
I've never heard anything other than blood referred to as spatter.
Right. So when he returned days later to do some more work, the room had been recarpeted, and the glamour shot that he had noticed what we're calling blood on it, it had been wiped down and it had been moved to the guest bedroom. He also claims that when he was in the master bedroom, he heard gurgling sounds coming out of the tub, and when he looked, he saw a reddish-brown blob gurgling out of the drain. I don't know what that means. So Margaret shows up to the house with a U-Haul, and Augustine had to load it up with crap like the mattress, the
This
box
motherfucker's
spring.
a mover, too?
Yeah, girl, he does everything.
He's a handy man.
He sure shit is. And so he gets the mattress, the box spring from the master bedroom, along with a wardrobe closet, loads it up in the U-Haul. Margaret instructs him to drive the truck to an alley and abandon the things there. And so he does.
What the fuck?
I don't know. And then the same day, Margaret asked Augustine to mail a package for her, which was addressed to her mother.
Okay.
Turns out Augustine got a little too busy and he failed to mail the package out, and he ultimately turned it over to the police.
Oh.
When the police open the package, they discover several personal items inside, along with a postcard from Israel signed Love Yehuda. What? I thought we weren't having an affair. We could just be friends, I
Why
suppose.
is she sending that to her mom?
It was like all her personal items. I don't know. Maybe because she's about to go on the fucking run, girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why are we
Sounds like
mailing
it.
shit? I don't know what the personal items were.
Like, I don't want to lose these things. You keep them.
Right.
And I'm just going to disappear.
There was also a photo of Yehuda in the package and a handwritten letter from Margaret to her mom with the message, quote, "Please hold on to my ye."
Ew.
Yeah. So I'm guessing they were having an affair.
Yeah, obviously.
On January 21st, 1995, a fisherman... Oh, hold on here, okay? This is going to be a wild sentence.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay, a fisherman riding an ATV in the Mojave Desert, close to Nelson's Landing at Lake Mojave.
Okay, I was going to say.
Right.
Okay.
Right. He discovered a charred steamer trunk in the middle of the desert.
What's a steamer trunk?
It's like one of them antique trunks like this that we have our feet on,
Oh,
but
like
bigger
with
and
handles.
fatter, and people would like take to the, Titanic to travel across the Atlantic.
It's like an old-timey trunk
Yeah.
chest travel
Right,
thing.
like a hope chest.
Okay.
Okay, so they find, he finds this charred steamer trunk in the middle of the desert. He looks in the trunk and he observes charred human remains and notifies authorities instantly.
Yeah, what a bad way to leave that.
Yeah,
I understand.
100%.
I understand this is very contained. It's
Yeah.
a good fire. It's
Right.
all the things.
Is that
blah
a
blah blah.
box
But
out there? Like, what?
once it goes out, like
Yeah.
you gotta then scatter it or something.
And we know it takes a lot to burn a human body. Like, it's got to be very hot for a very long time.
Right.
To burn bone and everything.
But, like, if there's ever a box in the desert, I'm
Right.
looking at it. Like, if anyone sees
It's-
it.
What is this right angle doing in nature? Yeah, of course. Yeah,
If anyone comes across
It's not like
that, they're
there's
going to open it.
trees blocking it. There's
Right.
fucking barely bushes.
Right.
It's the desert.
Yeah, there's a box over there. I would go out of my way to look at the box
Me
over there.
too. And I guess this fisherman too. He was like, wow, what's that?
It's
Let's
on
see.
ATV.
Yeah. So when the police recovered the remains, there was only 500 grams of bone matter remaining, which is like a pound.
Okay, I was like,
In freedom measurements.
how many dime bags is that?
And also with the bone matter was a skull.
A whole ass skull?
A whole ass skull.
With teeth and shit?
Girl, with teeth and shit. So investigators were able to identify the remains as Ron's based on dental records.
Mm-hmm.
They were also able to determine that his cause of death was from multiple gunshot wounds to the fucking head, which I find hysterical.
What?
Sorry, that's a rude way to say that. But like, I find it really hysterical that they burned the entire fucking body, but the one place of the evidence of what the fuck happened to him
right.
survived.
Well, and like, how to identify him?
Yeah. Yeah, like who it is.
Here's how he died, who
it
is,
is.
how he got here,
Yeah.
a fucking trunk.
Like, you don't want to start with the head. Like, listen, I'm glad they didn't, but that
Right.
shit cracks me
Or
up.
like, you know,
whenever
come
I
back
read
the
these.
next day once it's out and like
Stomp it down.
remove the head or the teeth. I don't know.
Also, I think that he had been dismembered.
How else do you get in a fucking trunk? I can't imagine he's a small guy.
Right. And I don't know what size the trunk was. I didn't look any of that shit up or anything. But I remember reading that he had been beheaded. And I was like, but how do they know? Just because the skull was separate. But you had 500 grams of bone matter. Was it like perfectly still intact? And like you breathed barely and he disintegrated into dust? I don't know.
The head was like in the middle and there's no way.
Yeah,
you know?
that wouldn't get there. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know if he was chopped
Or
up
maybe
or what.
there was like cut marks, you know?
Perhaps. I didn't read any of that. It was just like in some random... There's a lot of misinformation in this too because this is a very gossipy story.
Yeah.
And I'm probably sharing
Gossiping.
more gossip. Yeah, I 100% am. But I'm trying to highlight where I don't know for a fact.
Yeah.
But
This
still
is
give you
me
the tea.
speculating.
Yeah, exactly. The police were also able to recover in fucking Ron's skull 3 .22 caliber bullets, as well as 2 other bullet fragments.
That's why it took so many shots.
Yeah, fucking 5 shots to the goddamn head, man.
Little baby 22. He's like, oh, fuck, stop.
Oh, get it out of there.
Just kidding. Bullets
do
will
it.
probably hurt
Yeah,
anyway.
don't do it.
No matter what size they are. Especially in the head.
On January 23rd, 1995, the police brought Margaret in to notify her that Ron's remains had been recovered, and she expressed little to no visible signs of emotion other than rubbing her knuckle into her eye at one point. So she was not alarmed. Yeah.
Oh, I am so sad. Rubbing her knuckle into her eye.
Right.
Oh,
Bad
I don't
news.
want to disturb your mascara.
Absolutely. How sad.
Yeah.
Bad news for Margaret, though, because the trunk that Ron was found in looked oddly similar to the one that Margaret had in the antique shop, according to her fucking sister. Okay?
What?
Her sister was like, I know that trunk.
Her sister was like, what do you mean, Margaret? That's your trunk. You said you sold it. Remember? You told me.
And Margaret's like, oh, yeah, that's weird. Another antique dealer.
I got questions.
Oh,
though.
tell me.
Because, like, now listen, I don't know Margie, but
right, Maggie.
Maggie, she can't. That's a whole ass man. Like,
Right.
it's not by herself.
Right.
Augustine had to be in it. Or somebody.
Or
else.
Yehuda.
Or Yehuda, yeah.
Right.
Somebody had to be involved. Like, this girl is not carrying a whole ass trunk
Agreed.
anywhere, in or out of a van,
Agreed.
first of all.
Agreed. She's using like a hand truck.
Right, yeah.
How do we get the leverage on this bitch?
Yeah. Okay, now what?
Yeah. This is your turn.
I can wheel it around. I could do a sweet 360, but I can't lift it.
I feel like trying to lift something heavy into a car that doesn't fit like the right shape of whatever the fuck it is, the tools you have to get it there, is the equivalent to traveling with someone. Like to do that with someone and to survive your friendship.
Yeah, like it's a test.
Yeah, it is a test. Like, you fucking idiot, why are you tying it down like that?
We gotta work together.
Yeah.
On the count of 3, I said.
Exactly. So now, bad news for Margaret, right?
Yeah.
Another antique dealer steps forward later and testified that he sold a similar trunk to the one found in holding Ron's remains to Margaret in 1994. So he's like, I sold her that trunk.
Okay.
So 2 people are like,
That was hers.
That was Margaret's. On January 27th, police executed another search warrant of Margaret's home. And in the redone master room, they were able to discover blood-like spatter all over, on everything, like on outlets.
Redone master bedroom.
Yeah.
She was like paint over everything except for the blood spatter.
Right. Which, I didn't put this together, but Peggy committed suicide in that room.
Yeah, so I thought of that earlier, but
Did they not change the carpets?
I couldn't imagine. Maybe they didn't change the carpet. No, they must have changed the carpet. But when he was pulling it up, like that's when it's like the under carpet, right?
Yeah,
like you can
like
clean
the
it all or
padding.
something. Yeah, maybe they didn't change it. Maybe they cleaned it or only replaced
And
the
then,
top.
like, you have to imagine if she, like, blew her brains out in there and there was blood everywhere, like, he would have repainted or something, right? Like, before moving in a new wife.
Right. And also, you said it was on, like, one of the picture frames or whatever.
Right, a
like,
glamour shot. And I can't imagine it's a glamour shot of Ron.
or a glamour shot of Peggy, like
no,
from
it's
back
gotta
in the
be
day.
of Margaret.
It's or of them.
Yeah.
So that's like a recent one after the Peggy situation. You know, at least that's better, in my opinion.
I'd like to go get glamour shots with you and hang it in my house somewhere.
Okay, I'm in. Let's do that. Let's do exactly that.
Okay. Anyway, so
Can I bring my cat?
of course, it's a must. Okay, so all great points, right?
Yeah.
So the police were able to recover the box spring from the alleyway, and it tested positive for blood, as well as they were able to recover the glamour shot, which was not at her house when they went to go look, but they had taken Augustine's, like, statement by that time, and so they were specifically looking for it, and they had gone to a local reframing shop where I guess Margaret had brought it in to be reframed, but they hadn't done it yet, so they were able to recover it. Weird, right? Why are you reframing it? Weird.
This bitch decided to reframe it instead of just
Wipe it down.
wiping it off.
Well, and Augustine says it was wiped down, but you know, we got luminol and shit. Like, you can't really get rid of blood evidence. You have to, like, get rid of it.
Maybe if it was like a wood frame, it like soaked in, you know?
Oh, yeah, especially if it wasn't varnished or something first and it's like stained and you're like, fuck,
and you're
that
like,
ain't gonna
you've
come
wiped
away.
the outside,
Yeah.
but like it's in the grain.
Right. So they recover it. It also tested positive for blood.
Whose blood? We don't know. 'cause
I
it's
don't
the
know.
90s.
It never says. Yeah, I don't know why. But anyway, so with all of this blood evidence, police are starting to speculate that it was likely Margaret that had shot Ron in their bedroom.
Multiple times in the head.
Like 5 times. Yeah, there were several bullets in his head. Now, when the police raided Margaret's house, she wasn't home at the time, but she pulled up when they were in the middle of it and she saw all of the squad cars outside.
And she immediately did a 47-point turn.
100%. And she hightailed it out of there. And
Really?
she didn't know that the cops were like looking
Watching?
out for her. Yeah.
Fucking obviously.
I know, and
Maybe
they
they
followed
won't
her.
see me pull up to my driveway.
And turn around. Well, that's exactly what they did. So the squad cars like followed her, or the police followed her, and she drove to a convenience store where she made several phone calls, after which she headed to her sister Donna's house. And she stayed for a few hours. And later, Donna said that Margaret had told her the police were looking for an old trunk, a gun, and a glamour shot. Which I don't know how she would know all that. Right? Like, it's not like the police are coming and being like, do you have a glamour shot photo?
Yeah.
Like, can I have that glamour shot? They just
Here's
raided
our
her house and she
list of
pulled up in
items.
the middle of it. But in the middle of it, she knew they were looking for a trunk, a gun, and which a gun, I guess you could imagine if she knew that Ron was shot. And then the glamour shot. That's so weird. Okay? So I don't know how she knew all that, but eventually Margaret went to Augustine's house where she hid out for 2 hours.
Where the what?
I don't know.
He's just a handyman.
I don't know. He
Leave
must-
that poor man alone.
I know.
He's like, it is. You took my Christmas.
Yes. What are we doing,
Does
woman?
he not have a family?
I don't know. But she hung out there with him for 2 hours, and then the pair got into her car and drove towards the state line.
Okay, I don't trust Augustine either.
I don't either. It's all weird. But, like, he's telling the cops the shit he's finding, but he's also probably doing it to be like, don't
Kill me.
don't you get me for anything. Just
Yeah.
don't look over here. Everything's fine.
I think I'd be like, yeah, I'm busy. I have a call at 2. You
I
know,
don't e-
like
yeah.
I gotta go fix someone's drain.
I'm sure Margaret thought Augustine would, like, not say all that.
Right. Yeah, probably.
Like, I'm paying you good to keep your mouth shut. So, and now you're an accessory because you're
Yeah.
helping me across state lines. So, when she got to the state line, the police notified the Los Angeles Police Department and they took over monitoring her until the next morning when she boarded a flight to St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
I guess it's here where the police lose her trail because she stays on the run for a few years and moves to Mexico and goes through several identities. So, I don't know how you fuck that up, but they did.
Yeah.
Back in Vegas, while the police were still searching for more evidence into the murder of Ron, a scuba diver discovered a .22 caliber Ruger handgun on July 21st, 1996, while diving near Pyramid Island in Lake Mead. So the fucking Lake Mead, man, okay? The gun was wrapped in several plastic bags that were secured with a ton of rubber bands. So the gun was, like, really well preserved. Not smart.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not how I would do it, but okay.
Feels like it's not the Bob.
No.
Feels like it might be your wife, Margaret.
Yeah, it feels like it's a dummy.
I don't know. So the gun they discovered, unless it was, like, put there and they're like, we're going to recover this later, I don't know. So, I don't know.
In her scuba suit?
I don't know. Like, if it was tied to a fucking cement rod or a scuba motherfucking Steve showed up. Found the goddamn gun.
I'm just going to run back in and get that gun from Lake Mead.
I don't know.
I remember exactly where I put it.
So the gun they discovered had a sound suppressor attached to it when they found it. And then they looked up the serial number, obviously. And surprise, surprise, it was registered to Ron Rudin in 1980.
And it's the one that she took her fucking carry permit on?
Well, it turns out that in October of 1989, Ron reported that this gun had gone missing, and he sent a letter to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms stating that he suspected that Margaret had packed his gun into her belongings in anticipation of moving due to a pending divorce. What? Okay, so it seems that there were several times throughout their marriage that the couple would separate or begin the filings for divorce. Now, mind you, in 1988, this was less than a year after they had just gotten married. And he was already writing fucking bureaus being like,
She stole my gun.
My wife stole my gun. I'd like to report this gun stolen, and I think it's my wife.
Weird.
The police test the gun against the bullets that were found in Ron's skull, and they determined that it was Ron's gun that fired those bullets. So he got shot by his own gun.
That sucks.
That's fucking offensive.
Yeah, it's one thing that shouldn't happen.
Right? On August 17th, 1997, a Clark County grand jury indicted Margaret for the crimes of unauthorized surreptitious intrusion of privacy by listening device, because they put those fucking listening devices in his office, murder with the use of deadly weapon, and accessory to murder. So she got charged with all of those by a grand jury. Remember, she's on the run.
How can she also be accessory to murder?
Maybe they're just, like, covering all, like, she couldn't have done it on her own, you know?
Yeah.
The whole thing we were saying.
Like,
so,
she did it, and also she was there.
Right. So, cover all your bases. So, a warrant was issued for her arrest, but it wouldn't be until November 1999 when officers in Massachusetts would eventually apprehend her and extradite Margaret back to Nevada to stand trial.
That shit blows my mind. You made it all the way to Mexico.
Guadalajara, yeah. Like, she was living in apartments with other Americans and shit. I don't know. She had
You made it
identities.
gone, though. Like, you got out of the country, and you were gone. And then you were like, fuck that, I'm gonna go back.
Massachusetts.
To Massachusetts?
Now, I don't think I write all of this, okay? But I know why she came back to the United States. And it was because she has family. Like, her mom got really sick, and so she came back to the States.
I'm sorry, it sucks to suck. If you kill somebody,
I'm on a fucking run.
You don't get to fucking go home to your mom anymore.
And she's like, it's so hard. You can't be on a run when, like, you have kids. She had kids. She had, like, her dying mom and everything. She's like, it's really, you can't just disappear.
Yeah.
Girl, you can't because you got caught.
Yeah.
Anyways, so.
I mean, you can. You did. You just gave up.
You could have.
You just continued.
But she, like, befriended other people on the run in fucking Mexico who taught her how to be on the run. And, like, so she would almost get caught several times and then, like, change her fucking hair. She's like, I loved wearing wigs. I love curly hair. Like, she's, like, bragging about it. Like,
I mean, when in Rome.
I suppose, but if you're trying to look innocent.
Sure. Yeah. No. We're past that.
I mean.
He was killed by his own gun that was on the record that she stole.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
And it
in
was
a trunk.
in her trunk.
Yeah.
The gun was preserved as fuck. You could probably find her fingerprints on it.
If you tried. I don't know if they tried. So anyway, she's back in Nevada, right?
Mm-hmm.
The few years the police were trying to, like, track her down, I guess America's Most Wanted was, like, blasting her face everywhere. So that's how she kept almost getting caught. And she would, like, she had a go bag, and this is what she learned from, like, the people that she was being taught by, was you always have a go bag of your essentials, and you always have an escape plan. So she says that she would stay in these places, and they would use, like, limo drivers for things. I don't know what for, fucking what she was doing or whatever, but she would call a limo driver to pick her up on the side and make it sound like she just wants to be, like, you know, secretive or something like that. Yeah, exactly. And then that's how she would get away, and she almost got caught several times, and then she did get caught in fucking Massachusetts. And the way that she got caught was because her face was fucking plastered everywhere, and she was still going to the post office mailing packages and shit. And a post office worker was like, hey, that's Margaret. Like, that's one of
her fucking picture is in the post office.
Right, that's where they put them.
Yeah.
Like, this one's missing.
And she's like, oh, they use that one?
Yeah, exactly. And so the post office worker called the police, and so the police pretended to be pizza delivery people. And when Margaret ordered a pizza, they fucking raided the joint.
This bitch.
And arrested
just
her.
trying to live like nothing happened.
Right? The trial started on March 2nd, 2001, and it was a shit show. Mm-hmm. So her defense claimed that Ron was killed due to illegal activities that he was involved in, right? Like with the mob and everything. While the prosecution argued that Margaret killed her husband to prevent him from divorcing her and her losing what she would inherit from his estate, and that it was clear that she didn't care about the marriage because she was having an affair, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're just getting rid of the man. The prosecution also alleged that Margaret would have needed help, right? Like we were saying, that was most likely Yehuda who helped her, but they offered him immunity if he testified against her at trial.
He's got some other kind of ties, huh?
Well, they told... Girl? Okay, so they told him that if he didn't take the deal, they were going to try him for all the exact same things they were trying Margaret. So, like, if you don't want a murder charge, you need to testify. And so Yehuda took the stand and he testified, but he didn't give the prosecution shit. He went up there and was like, we're not having an affair. I was going to say he lied, allegedly. And he said, we're not having an affair. I only know her through bookkeeping for her antique store. Like, I was just transporting oils. And she also denied that they ever had an affair. Now, the police, unbeknownst to them, the police were staking them out. And they were having a fucking affair. Like, they were witness having it. But they got up there and lied. And for whatever reason, Yehuda was never punished. Probably because he's got some ties as being an ex-Israeli defense person. But he takes the stand, but doesn't give the prosecution anything. And interestingly, Margaret was also offered a plea deal several times, and every time she denied it. She was like, I'm not going to admit to anything I didn't do. So like 5 times, I think it was, that she had an opportunity to get out of this, and she said, nope, I would rather go to trial. I'm never going to admit to something I didn't do.
Yikes, that's hard.
Yeah.
Because that could just be overconfidence speaking, you know?
Right.
And you're like, if I take the plea, then I'm definitely going to go to prison for a little while at least. Like, if she...
At least this way I could fight it, because there's enough evidence to suggest I didn't do it. Well,
and she's like just a girl and stuff, you know? So...
Even Margaret's...
I know, right? I can
get out of this. Even Margaret's own sister took the fucking stand, saying all the shit that Margaret's sister said, and was like... Margaret was infatuated with Yehuda. Like, even while she's like... I mean, Margaret didn't take the stand in her own trial, but, like, Yehuda's like, we're not having an affair. Margaret obviously told the police they weren't having an affair. But they were having a fucking affair, okay?
Man.
Looks shady. Looks really shady.
Her sister testified against her?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of rough.
So, through the trial, Margaret basically blew through, like, 3 different attorneys, saying that she was having trouble getting effective counsel. It was a real shit show.
It's not working. Yeah, man. Because you fucking murdered a guy.
Yeah. Well, I guess they really weren't doing much. I don't know.
Okay.
So there were also issues with the jury, where one juror got in a fight with a Golden Nugget employee during the trial.
Fucking hilarious.
I don't know if there were like pending charges or something, but they were like asking the juror, do you still want to be a part of the jury? And the juror was like, fuck yeah. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. I'm fine. I can handle this.
Had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that was totally different. Then, shortly after that, the same juror contacted the alternate juror and was complaining that that juror, the one that got in the fight with the Golden Nugget employee, was the only one voting not guilty and was like holding everything up. And that juror was getting mad. Like, nobody else is voting not guilty. I'm the only one voting not guilty. And the judge, obviously, the fucking defense was like, mistrial. That shouldn't be happening. You're not allowed to talk to each other about anything. And the judge reviewed everything and was like, we're going to allow the jury to stay. Like, we're not going to get rid of the juror, right? Also, after some testimony, I think like the defense rested its case or some shit like that. And right after that, a witness came forward stating that the state prosecutors were withholding information about the trunk, and that the antique dealer who sold Margaret the trunk later is now saying the trunk was much smaller than the one that Ron was found in, the one that I thought I sold her. Okay?
Oh.
And so again, the defense is like, mistrial. And the judge is like, no, we're not going to do a mistrial, but we're going to have the witness come in and tell the jury before they go deliberate. Right? But everybody's rested their case. But just also mention that you think the trunk was smaller. Okay? So this is what they're working with. It's a shit show.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Super bold, too, to be like, I sold her that trunk. oh, fucking wait, never mind. Like, if you're not positive.
I know, but
that's wild.
But also, like, we're reading from reports, and there's been so much gossip here that I'm like, I don't know what order this happened. How did it happen? Like, was he really like, that for sure was the trunk, and then he revoked it later? Did somebody step in and was like, you need to revoke it and say that it was smaller? Or was he like, I sold her one similar, and then when he actually saw it in the trial, he's like, no, it wasn't that one.
Oh, it was smaller. No.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. So
just a weird way to insert yourself into a case, though.
Yeah,
and then have to backtrack.
Stay out of it, bud.
Yeah.
So even through all of that fuckery, the jury deliberate, and they return a guilty verdict on Margaret. And she was found guilty of spying and of murder, and she got 1 year for the spying and 10 years to life with the possibility of parole after 20 years for Ron's murder. She obviously appealed, and in 2008, a Clark County district judge ruled that Margaret's lead attorney did not provide effective counsel, and in fact, it came out that her lawyer was trying to sell stories of the murder to the National Enquirer during the trial.
Uh-oh.
However, so they were like, yeah, like, you get an appeal. Like, you can have another trial. That's pretty fucked up. You did have ineffective counsel.
Wow, okay.
However, the Nevada Supreme Court ruled that Margaret would not get another trial, and the lower appeals court ruling was overturned, and the original conviction stood. What a fucking...
wild ride.
Yeah. Margaret then went to file a habeas corpus case with the federal courts, but a judge ruled that she filed too late and did not consider her claims. What? She then went on to appeal that decision to the Ninth Circuit Courts of Appeals, and on September 10th, 2014, the judges agreed that she filed too late, even though they claimed that they were troubled by the case and it had serious concerns about her legal representation at the time. So they were like, no, you were right. You didn't have effective counsel, but you took too fucking long to file, so... sucks to suck.
Paperwork issue?
Yeah.
A paperwork issue?
Yeah.
We're talking about murder. In someone's whole ass life.
Right.
Like, I believe that she did it and everything, but, like, let's
do it the right way.
Yeah. If she's deserved a second appeal, do it.
Right.
That's fucking wild.
In 2015, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals changed its decision and ruled that Margaret deserved a new trial.
Oh, good.
So I think maybe the laws changed on, like, the timing of everything.
Yeah.
And, like, when you know how it's, like,
they're
the
like, actually,
statute of
could
limitations.
be easier on the bureaucracy and paperwork side of it.
Right. Like, to have justice actually served.
Yeah.
So she is awarded a new trial, right?
Uh-huh.
And in 2016, the U.S. Supreme Court refused to challenge the Ninth Circuit's decision, so her right to a new trial was granted.
Okay.
So everybody was like, right, fine.
Fucking give it to her.
So Margaret was paroled in 2020.
What?
After serving 20 years.
Wait.
Of her life sentence.
This is before the new trial?
She was granted the right to a new trial in 2016, but was just sitting there, couldn't do anything. And then in 2020, she was granted parole because it was her 20 years. Like, she had been in for 20 years. It was with the chance of parole after 20, okay? So she was granted the right to a new trial, but one didn't happen. She was still guilty and in prison during this time. Prison system takes forever.
Yeah.
Right?
So she got out before she got a new trial?
Yeah.
At that point, you don't do the new trial, right?
Let's end it.
Yeah, like, never mind. I don't want to do it again.
I'll take this. Well, she's a fucking stubborn old cat, okay? So after serving 20 years of her life sentence, she continued to fight to have her murder conviction completely overturned.
Girl, calm down. Shut your fucking mouth. Go back to Mexico.
Shut your fucking mouth.
That's insane.
In 2022, a judge overturned her conviction, ruling that she had received ineffective counsel representation during her original trial.
Okay.
The state chose not to retry her case, but officials didn't declare her innocent. They just decided to not continue prosecuting.
They're like, she already served the time we wanted her to.
Basically, that's how they're looking at it. And she's like, I want you to call me innocent. No, this isn't good enough. Call me innocent.
Girl, fucking stop testing your luck.
Right? Last I was able to find, Margaret chose to move to Chicago.
Oh, no.
To be closer to her son and daughter and the mob. Okay, and grandchildren.
And the mob.
And the mob. And over the years, Margaret was termed the Black Widow of Las Vegas because it was, like, obviously all over the media and everything, and she was known as the Black Widow. And Yehuda was like the mister of the Black Widow, you know, the secret lover of the Black Widow. Mm-hmm. As for Yehuda, in 2020, he was still living in Las Vegas, and he made headlines again when his home and truck were burglarized, and he claimed that because of his past history as being the ex-lover to one of America's most wanted criminals, that the police weren't doing much to investigate the robbery. But
Nobody cares about me and my feelings.
I know, right? But I was able to find that they did catch the person who, like, stole shit. And I don't even know what they stole. I guess his truck. And I think inside of his truck was just a bunch of other stolen shit. And I was like, this could be a whole other fucking rabbit hole. Because here's Yehuda in 2020 getting pictures inside of his garage with all his fucking trash around him. His shit. I don't know. We all have shit in our garage, right? And he's, like, showing the stolen stuff that was found in his car, and it's like picture books and stuff. It's like personal stuff from people. And all I'm thinking is, like, I need another 8 hours because we need to break down what's in this garage, what he's been doing. I couldn't find anything. Here? I found that there was, like, a lawsuit for him against, like, Toyota or something for, like, illegally checking his credit score or some shit like that, but it wasn't, he didn't win the case. They were like, nah, man, like,
we have to check it before we sell you a car.
Yeah, I don't know what. But again, I probably could have spent another 8 hours going down that rabbit hole, but very strange, okay?
Yeah.
Just suspicious as fuck, okay? And as for Ron, obviously justice has not been served, and his killer still walks free. And do I know who did it?
Well,
we could speculate.
If it's 20 to life or 25 to life, technically you said 10 to life, Pearl after 20 years, which was weird. But then justice has been served. Someone did the time for that crime. She was called guilty, and she served the time.
But, I didn't read the last... I must have skipped over it when I was spitballing. But she was eventually found innocent, and now she can sue the state for mistrial.
Oh, fuck. What?
And for all that. Should have said that. Sorry.
Yeah. I was like, justice was served. Everything's fine.
No. So she's now innocent.
Oh.
She's got it all removed off of her record, and now she has the right to sue the state for, accusing her of murder.
Blah, blah, blah.
Wrongful conviction.
Did she, or is she gonna?
No, that's when she was like, I moved back to Chicago and I'm with my family. So I don't know if she's going to. Nothing has happened yet.
Yeah. What?
But she can legally now because she was cleared of any wrongdoing.
Huh.
So justice has not been technically served. I mean, you kind of, if you want to think of it that way, you can, and like the prosecution probably is because they're not doing anything about it.
Because they believe it was her.
But I just think of everything we shared, it's so messy and confusing, and like it probably was her, but what if it wasn't? And why'd she go back to Chicago? Like, where did they meet? They were in Vegas when they met, I think. I don't know why I don't know.
Well, if her kids
timeline.
Or whomever were in Chicago, that could be the reason that she got up there, and it's just a weird coincidence or whatever.
Yeah, or like maybe they met in Chicago, so it's not that weird. Like if they were from there. But there's just so many weird things, Yeah. Like even in our storytelling, you're like, why would it be left outside of the mob? Maybe she did it and tried to make it look like a mob hit by leaving it by the mob. Or what if it was the mob and they were trying to make it look like her and that's why the trunk was out there? Or is she really just that dumb?
I think she might just be that dumb.
I kind of lean towards her too.
All the blood and everything in the house.
But
that was then cleaned.
Everything online was like, this poor woman, like she has been tortured enough. And I'm like, I think she's a wise old cat. And I think she just kind of got away with it. And I think she's very bold. And I think that she knows what she's got to do next. And maybe perhaps there's some ties where she can have some strings pulled. And that's why the confidence. That's my speculation. But she had to have had help. And it was either Augustine or Yehuda. And it seems like the cops thought it was Yehuda because they were offering him immunity.
Yeah.
And then he didn't do anything. And then I'm like, well, why didn't you press that? Because he's ex-Israeli intelligence. So you're like, don't fuck with him?
Right. He's his own fucking problem.
Yeah. Weird. Anyway, I don't know. These are all speculations.
Yeah,
but isn't that... I just thought I was looking up a murder where the wife shot him in the head and threw him out in the desert.
Right.
And I was going to be like, wow, do you know a lot of people are dead out here? That's crazy. And instead we got ex-Israeli intelligence. We got fucking mob ties. I'm like, what?
That's interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah. That was a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I don't know the truth, but maybe we are satisfied with something. Anyway, if you guys want to follow us on social media, you could do that on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Our handle is @ISGD Podcast. While we're still there. You can also email us at isgdpodcast@gmail.com, or if you would like to snail mail us, you can do that at
P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
9. And toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Toodaloo, motherfuckers. Bye.